For judgment this day, Inquisitor, I must present Captain Tom Rainier, formerly known to us as Warden Blackwall. His crimes... well, you are aware of his crimes. The decision of what to do with him is yours.
I didn't think this would be easy, but it's harder than I thought.
Another thing to regret. Using your ties to the underworld to free me. You're a criminal, same as me. The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
Once the world is back to normal, no one will even remember this.
I'll remember. I accepted my punishment. I was ready for all this to end. Why would you stop it? What becomes of me now?
You are in the Inquisition's debt, and you will be what the Inquisition requires. We benefit from the appearance of having a warden on our side, and so you will remain Blackwall. You will say nothing of Rainier, and neither will we.
So I am to live the lie until you release me from it.
It's not my lie.
Of course. I have my orders.
For judgment this day, Inquisitor. His crimes, the decision of what to do with him is yours.
I didn't think this would be easy.
Another thing. Using your ties. The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
I wish there had been another way, but my option...
You could have left me there. I accepted my punishment. Why would you stop it? What becomes of me now?
You have your freedom.
It cannot be as simple as that.
It isn't. You're free to atone as the man you are, not the traitor you thought you were or the warden you pretended to be.
The man I am. I barely know him. But I have a lot to make up for. If my future is mine, then I pledge it to the Inquisition. My sword is yours. If I'd said anything less, would an arrow from the rookery have snuffed me like a candle?
Take your post, Tom Rainier.
It's good to see you.
What do the people make?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't opened.
Any...
None in... Yes?
What do the people...
There's scarcely a noble house...
Any...
Who did you mean?
What do you think of Sir Blackwall?
I never truly met Sir Blackwall, but Tom Rainier... How could he have kept up this deception? Really, Inquisitor, I'd rather not think of it.
Let's speak...
Good...
Any clues to his next move?
Some, but not enough for us to go on just yet.
Greetings, Inquisitor.
I'll leave you to the...
Until... My Lady Inquisitor. If you have questions, then ask. Until next time.
Your worship.
Can you tell me...
What would you like to know?
How are...
We have many in... Your soldiers have...
Do you have him?
The refuge with the rift. The people... More than that I cannot say.
Thanks for my life in Haven. You've all sorts serving now.
Your worship? Of course.
Did you need something?
And if...
Have it. The people trust the Templar.
So much law, so...
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
As you...
Yes.
You seem very interested in my opinions.
I should...
As you...
I expected ruins.
They were. As you see, the Inquisition has not been idle.
Would it be possible to meet the Herald before we return to Ghislaine?
My dear Laurent, for you, anything. Allow me to present Inquisitor Llewellyn.
Your worship, you do us great honor.
Inquisitor, this is my dear Bastien's sister, Grand Cleric Marceline, and his son, Duke Laurent of the Council of Heralds.
Madame de Fer has told us what great trials you faced, trying to save my poor brother's life.
The Maker called my father to his side. It was valiant of you to champion him in his final hours.
If only I'd been able to save Bastien.
The Circle of Magi told Bastien many years ago that his illness was incurable. It was simply his time.
Would you mind waiting for me in the chapel, my dears? The Inquisitor and I have business to discuss.
It has been our very great pleasure, Herald.
This has been quite the triumph, hasn't it? They just adore you.
Duke Bastien's family seemed quite pleasant.
Ordinarily, I would have warned you that Marceline has the temper of a hungry vulture, but she's quite taken with you. Laurent is a dear, almost as pious as his aunt, and new to a seat of great power in the Empire. And Marceline is one of the strongest voices among the Grand Clerics. Now they will both come to us for advice. The Inquisition is truly a power now, and there's no telling how far its influence will reach. But enough of this talk. Here, I have something for you. I commissioned this ring from the Formari, the greatest enchanters in all Thedas, for you.
This is a generous gift. Thank you, Vivian.
Once it was customary for the circles to craft enchantments for their staunchest friends and allies. And you have been both. I must go to see my guests now. Another time, darling.
I can spare some time. What do you need?
Can...
You want to talk about me? Nope.
My friend.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
I'd like...
Whatever would you like to know? My dear, did you need me for something?
What are your thoughts about the others?
Our dear Lord Dorian is...
Stone mad, Inquisitor.
Do you have insight into...
Tell you what. Who better, right? A good dwarf.
Another...
Best of...
Is there anything you need?
Do you have any advice for me?
You know what you need to do, Inquisitor.
That's an...
Another... Inquisitor.
Wardens harm their own and fall to mortal failings. Where does that leave us? A perfect start, except... No, it needs work.
Something like that.
Inquisitor?
Can you think...
Nothing jumps out at me. If I come up with it...
We'll talk...
Thank you.
Your worship graces me.
Good to see you, boss.
See you later.
Nice.
Inquisitor.
Well, Inquisitor.
Could be better.
Make her be with you.
Right. That.
Inky!
What do you think about the...
Again with your people. Right, which ones?
Any thought?
Right. Warden. Good liar, that one. Should give lessons. Suppose he kind of did. Still kind of like him, though. Proper sorry, him.
We'll talk later.
Good. Back, yeah? Always good.
What do you think about...
Again with your people. Right, which ones?
What's your...
She's a bitch, but she knows.
We'll talk...
Good.
Would that I could.
Right.
You all
That's
right,
why.
mate? Of course. It's made from people.
I'll talk...
there something you needed?
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
That's all.
Milan's good. My best.
Right.
Seems to me he's human. Or was. Humans believe some really stupid things and steal almost everything. So maybe he stole some stuff and is insane.
You don't make any sense.
It's the mountain air.
Your worship.
We'll speak in.
All's well?
Fair.
Make...
Inquisitor?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
Everyone needs something to us.
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Is there anything you actually know about the Warden?
I made very little up. I also feared. Warden Blackwall told me a bit before my... But it is a secretive order. Not even the most senior wardens know all there is to know.
Now we know why you were never worried about corruption.
Yes. I have none of the Warden's abilities. Still, I would have fought through the darkest pits of the Deep Rock. There's more to it than being able to sense Darkspawn. Warden Blackwall would have agreed.
The Wardens at Adamant listened to you. They saw...
Perhaps it takes an outsider to show how much of your... I never understood the reality of being a warden. I suppose I reminded them of something they'd forgotten.
You don't know what Warden Blackwall would have believed.
Neither do you. But I know he was a good man.
Why did Blackwall want to recruit you?
He never told me. I don't know what he saw that day besides some wreck starting a bar fight. That night, I taught some village militia a painful lesson about harassing the tavern girl. Didn't know I had an audience.
I can see why the Warden was impressed.
You're assuming my intentions. Told the girl to keep the wine coming. She couldn't, not with those louts bothering her. Something had to be done.
We'll continue this in...
The war in Olay has claimed too many lives. I pray that it's...
What do you think of the...
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you will.
You must have some...
Varric's amused at what's happened. He seems to think I'd make a good storyteller myself.
You must have some feeling.
Of all of them, I'm most glad for Sarah. She's been a friend.
You must have some feeling.
Varric's amused at what's happened. He seems to think...
You must have...
Cassandra hasn't forgiven me for the lie. I think the worst of the anger has passed. It's just disappointment now, and that's worse.
You must have some feeling.
Madame Vivian only allied with the Inquisition. The most poisonous snakes are often the most beautiful.
You must have some...
Sarah doesn't know who she is or what she wants, and doesn't even care.
You must have some...
The less I think about Dorian, the better.
You must have...
The less I think about Dorian, the better.
You must have...
I've been too hard on Cole. He's odd and often confound. The least I can do is support him while he sorts himself out.
You must have...
Madame Vivian. The most poisonous snakes are often the most...
You must have some feeling.
Cassandra hasn't forgiven... I think the worst of the anger has passed.
You must have...
Varric's amused at what's happened. He seems to think I'd make a good storyteller.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Sarah doesn't know who she is or what she wants. And doesn't even...
You must have some...
Cassandra hasn't... I think the worst of the anger has passed. It's just...
You must have...
Varric's amused at what's happened. He seems to think I'd make...
What do you think of...
Liliana is lonely. I pity her sometimes, as odd as that may seem.
What do you think of...
I have nothing but respect for Cullen, but I'm certain he no longer wants anything to do with me. Maybe one day he'll learn to trust me again. But I'm not holding out much hope.
What do you think of...
Josephine's lovely, and craftier than you'd expect. The
You must have...
Dorian? He's arrogant. He preens himself. But...
You must have...
Sarah doesn't know who she is or what she wants.
You must have...
The less I think about Dorian, the better.
You must...
Varric's amused at what's happened.
You must have...
Cassandra hasn't forgiven me. I think the worst of the anger has...
We should...
As you wish.
Right.
My dear, did you need me for something?
What are you...
I would never criticize your choice in paramours, my dear. I'm sure Sarah's affection for you is genuine. She's nowhere near clever enough to be after you for your wealth or position, so it must... I always have time for you, my dear.
What are your thoughts about the others in the...
So Varric was spying on us all this time. I'm impressed. I'll have to watch him more closely. I always have time for you, my dear.
What are your thoughts about the others?
Our dear Lord Dor... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are your...
So Varric was spying... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are your...
Whether coal is a spirit... My dear, did you need me for something?
What are you...
So Varric was spying... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are you...
So Varric was... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are your thoughts?
So Varric was... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling? Whether coal is a... Inquisitor, what can I do for you, darling?
What are your thoughts?
Our dear Lord...
Inquisitor,